This is a look at our qualitative analysis assignment and project for Unit 4. Notice that we have two different data sets in one. This is 1 and 9 that we are going to code together. What we're looking at here are the data, the qualitative data from a principally quantitative study. It's a survey that has open-ended questions at the back end of it. So the question that we're going to analyze data for is, what has the organization done well to make the work or experience good? Or, what could the organization do differently to make the work or experience better? So, in answer to that question, and actually it sort of is a combined question, a number of different people, and these are their positions right here, have answered this. So we're going to look at giving them one or more codes. I've allowed for 3 here, code 1, code 2, and code 3. So if we look at the first one, we've got a regional pastor who's overseeing a number of congregations, doing training, administration, teaching, and counseling. And what this individual, and we have no idea whether the gender is male or female. Now, there are demographic data that are associated here, and we could have looked at the demographic data also. But the idea then, if we were to categorize based on demographics, then we're going to be in a situation where we're counting. X number of females said this, X number of males said that, people of a certain age said this, and another age said that. That is treating qualitative data in a quantitative way. Actually, for those purposes, it is simply providing for demographics. But that doesn't give us a real experience for qualitative data. So those categories have been removed, and the responses that completed them have been removed as well. So we're just going to look at the responses, the qualitative data. So our regional pastor answered, a certain autonomy in performing the job, but also the flip side, a little feeling of being a part of a team. So autonomy and part of a team. Code 1, autonomy in performing my job, and part of a team. So what we can do with this is, as we go further, we're going to see other, down here there's going to be another one that's similar. We've got a business trainer and consultant who says, in response to the same question, autonomy and freedom of choice are an integral part of this job. So autonomy in performing my job is the same. And notice that if you start to, let's just try it, not to say that this is saying the same thing, anything about autonomy, but let's just put this in here and see. It should be a smart response so that it will put in what we key. So let's just try it. See, it has already said, yes, that's what I mean. So, and this isn't a code that reflects the response of the reporting and analytics person. So we'll just go ahead and delete that. But you can kind of see how we might do this coding. So let's just do a couple. So we have this person who is reporting in analytics. It says, be a company where you would want your family and friends to work. And that's the company motto. So the company motto is an aside. It's not really important to the response. So, but be a company where you would want your family and friends to work. So let's see, how are we going to put that? I'm not sure that we can actually get it better than that. We'll see if we can distill it further. So we're going to just say, a company where friends and family can work. Okay, so we're going to make sure that that is wrapped. We'll go like this. Oh, and it is. It's already wrapped. We've set it up to do that. And it should be a sufficient size. I think we're using font 9 so that that will work as well. And so we'll just go ahead and continue to put that in there. I'm going to just jump down here. Notice that our Senior Manager for Learning and Development has said, the boss has empowered me. So we have something up here that is similar, positive direction and support, or support reaching potential through creativity. So if there is something similar, we have to ask ourselves, is it similar enough? Or is it nuanced so that we should actually add a new code? If we think, oh, that's similar enough, then is it support direction, or positive direction and support, or is it supports reaching potential? So let's look at it again. Let's see, which one were we looking at? I think it was one down here. Well, now I'm not even finding that, so we'll have to look at it again. So we'll go to the funeral director with be clear about expectations. So I think, did we have something up there with clarity and expectation? Part of a team, engagement, hired, competent. I don't see that, so we'll just say clear expectations. Okay, be more coherent and precise with taking decisions. Maybe it's making decisions. And so we'll say, see, now it wants to put clear expectations, but that's not exactly right, is it? So we'll say clear. We want to say coherent, precise decisions. Being just in all areas. Okay, so just is our salient word here. Being just in all areas with employees. So just and so notice how that could be misinterpreted if we said just with employees. It might how about if we say just and equitable? Or that gets another, that goes in another direction. It's another nuance. So let's see, be just with employees. Well, see, that can be misunderstood as what just is again. Being just. How about if we go treating employees justly? Okay, so we had to change that a bit. So think about that. If you see something that's better, you change it back, change it to something different, and that's the way we're going to proceed. So we want to eventually, as we go through this, then we're going to put things that are similar together in a cluster or category. So we have things like positive direction and support, supports reaching potential, and possibly that would even allow for autonomy in performing my job. They're different, but we want to create a bigger basket, a category that is an umbrella category, and find a name that brings the things together that we think look like, well, if we were doing a jigsaw puzzle, then we might say these are all the yellow pieces. And the yellow pieces might end up being an apron, or they might end up being flowers, because both are yellow as we can see them on the picture on the box. In our case, we're putting the things together that are quote-unquote yellow, but we don't have a picture on the box. We're creating the picture. We're creating the patterns. And so we want to be as close to what our participants are telling us as possible. We don't want to use our view of the world to influence what we are including as the data and then eventually the categories within which we group these data. So we want to make first our codes, then we want to cluster our codes into categories, and then we will create themes from the categories. That's what we're doing. I hope everyone has a wonderful time doing this and finds that it's a creative experience and a rewarding one. If you have questions, just ask. Glad to help. Let's get coding.